and money. I will read that Walter Moore is the author of the poetry collection My Lungs Are a Dive Bar. And go on to say, he is at work on a novel about a drifter who returns to his hometown of Houston. This marks Walter's second year of teaching at Oregon State University, his 15th of teaching at a college level overall. My God, really? He lives in the Pacific Northwest with his partner Erica and his 100-pound dog beast, Lloyd. This is a man that I've known for many, many years. He continues to grow not only in the facial hair area, but in his talent with the written word and his ability to seize life and to thrill those around him with all that he does. Would you please put your hands together, returning to Austin, Texas. Oh my God, Walter Moore!
Thanks, Owen.
You're welcome, Walter Moore, ladies and gentlemen.
Man, I mean, the problem is with coming, I've been to Austin since Saturday, and it's like the combination of the heat and the alcohol and the queso. It's like I'm about to pass out at any moment now, but I'm going to power through this. All right, so yeah, I'm going to read a few poems from this book that just came out in April. There's copies for sale. There's also copies of Owen's novel Hollow. So feel free to give us some money. All right, so I'll read a few poems, some short, some a little bit longer. First one is called C List. C List. Been thinking about the overlooked pear, getting short shrift compared to the more popularly consumed fruits. The banana, orange, face of the household apple, exotic mango. But at times the apple is too tart. The pear can work better in a cake or pie, cobbler. Appreciated sustenance like the siblings of a more well-known celebrity. Tom Hanks's brother Jim. Ron Howard's brother Clint. Chad Lowe, maybe preferable to Rob. The poor pear doesn't get enough press, barely a mention in the magazines. But where would we be without someone like Clint Howard? Who would die in all the movies? Who would take the bullets for the more glamorous fruit? The ones responsible for the posters on your bedroom walls. The ones you get naked to in your minds, your dreams, with few shapes like pears. All right, I apologize if you were at the thing at the North Door on Tuesday, but in order to start the sequence, I got to start with this one. Neighborhood. Smoking cigarette front porch before noon. Monday, I see here young couple cross way in front of small apartment complex. She. I'm tired of you talking to me like that. Tired of this shit. He. You ain't should be talking to me like that. She. You fucking yelling at me for smoking cigarettes. You smoked all the damn cigarettes. That cigarette's the first one I got. He. Bitch, shut the fuck up. He throws something small in the direction of her back. They both walk inside the apartment, shut their door. I yell, I have cigarettes. You can have some of my cigarettes. They don't hear me because they're inside and I'm outside. Maybe I should go knock on their door, offer my cigarettes. I imagine the possible responses. 1, thank you, that was nice of you to come over here and offer your cigarettes. Or 2, bitch, we don't want your cigarettes. Put a shirt on, motherfucker. As a neighborhood compromise, I throw a cigarette into the middle of the street, roughly equidistant from my front door and their front door. I wonder which one of us will smoke that cigarette later. Maybe the 15-year-old lawn boy who injects heroin before he mows my lawn will pick it up, smoke it before starting the mower, but after he has injected heroin. My community is very important to me. Poem. All right, this one's called Progress. In the future, I imagine teenagers walking around with handguns they doubly use as phones. This way they can talk to a friend, say, "Hold on 1 minute, Larry," and then shoot someone for doing something or nothing. They could film their homicides, maybe Snapchat their heroics of civic duty. All criminals, all heroes. What's the difference? And that's right. The popular name of countless teenagers in the future will be Larry. But I thought that was, like, I have a few Larry poems, but then, you know, doing some, I live in Oregon now, and like doing some readings on the Pacific Northwest, like, coast, and the dean of my college is named Larry. And so it's like I'm doing this shit, and, like, you know, a couple of these readings, Larry's been in the audience, and I'm like, I have to apologize to Larry every time. Like, sorry, Larry, I wrote these before I knew you. All right, this one's called Joe H. Part 2. My 15-year-old lawn boy, Jonathan, or Joe H. Nathan, as I call him, consumes heroin. No joke. A person might write my 15-year-old lawn boy injects heroin when they really mean my 15-year-old lawn boy here in the suburbs, for example, is complicated. My lawn boy, Joe H., does heroin on a regular basis. We have fun conversations about it. I give him the warnings you would expect. I warn him it is not a good idea to do heroin and then mow the lawn unless he has a quality mower. A poor quality mower can potentially detract from the experience of a good heroin high. Regardless, this is all very curious. My lawn boy also looks like a young Leonardo DiCaprio. That is, if DiCaprio were from north central Indiana and did heroin. I suppose the art boy Joe H. could resemble DiCaprio in the Basketball Diaries, though that film depicts New York in the 1990s. Joe H. showed up to my house last week. My girlfriend opened the door and Joe H. asked, "Is he here?" Joe H. does not know my name, I don't think. He calls me he, which pleases me. On this occasion, Joe H. asked if he could borrow my mower to mow another house. I said fine, and I did not see my mower nor Joe H. for 3 days, which is also fine. Joe H. left his blue cruiser bicycle on my front lawn, and I enjoyed riding the cruiser. 3 days later, I was driving my car, and I noticed Joe H. mowing another person's lawn. Joe H. "I will drop your mower off later." Me. "Okay, you know you left your bicycle at my house?" Joe H. "I did? Which one?" Me. "The blue one." After running errands, I returned to my place of residence. My lawnmower was in the middle of my lawn, the blue cruiser bicycle gone, and in its place a skateboard. Joe H. only utilizes one vehicle at a time, which I admire. The other day I asked Joe H. how much heroin he likes to do at one time, and he replied, "As much as it takes." Fair enough, I said. Lately I've been riding the skateboard around the neighborhood and to work. I'm getting pretty good at it. My lawn is due for another trimming. I wonder if Joe H. will bring over rollerblades. Oh. Oh man, I guess I'll read this one. It's one I wrote in Austin kind of a long time ago. So I always say that Houston is my hometown. So this one's called Here's to You, Hometown. Where were you, Houston, when I was in Broomfield and Westminster, Denver, as a lone kid in a school of angelic gangs, spotted bandanas and fistfights, walking downhill through the frost, boulder, next door mountains, cold air slicing my eyes, disjointed, ill thoughts on my mind? When Dad took a gun to Egypt, arrested in Egyptian prison, beaten like a man on dirt floors, Mom got the call, sat us down, and said alteration is reality. When I was in Oklahoma City in the Bible Belt, thinking I was the devil, awkward teenager thinking pure nasty thoughts, drinking beer in Everclear in the back roads, calling girls who had no idea, Dad drunkenly flipping his car, going wrong way on one-way roads. When in Indiana, Chaz took too many pills, broken hospitals, stealing chairs and setting them on fire, all night in jails with poisoned milk. When I was in Australia, puking blood out of taxi cabs, faking pregnancy and losing my cerebrum in the outback. When in Bali, breaking into pool bars, paying off policemen. When in Northern California, living in a shack, surfing cold waters, working overtime, and guessing the truth about my father and neighbors. And where are you, Houston? Now that I'm 2.5 hours west of you, crying and singing your name. Oh. Joe H. Part 3. Was walking Lloyd around, so Lloyd is my dog. Lloyd is my dog. Joe H. Part 3. He'd be unhappy if I didn't clarify that. Was walking Lloyd around the neighborhood. A man in a new-looking ocean blue Toyota Corolla pulled up. You see a white car speed down here, he hit somebody down there, ran through 2 lights. I told him I hadn't. Lloyd and I walked on. 2 blocks away, we saw a young man in a red shirt, baggy jeans, being handcuffed by a police officer. An older man, white shirt, pontificating wildly to another officer in the yard. I noticed the white car all smashed in the front. The young man being handcuffed, his pants started to fall down below his cheeks. Gray underwear exposed. Funny moment. The officer grabbed the young man's pants, pulled him up, and held him there while he pushed the young man towards the police car. The other man, the one in the white shirt, pontificated even wilder. I yelled out, "You know Joe H?" The handcuffed young man shook his head. The other cop told me, "Sir, you need to move along." Lloyd decided to pee in the lawn. The beast wants what the beast wants, I said. Move along, please. I saw the man with the Corolla down the road. He had a Duck Dynasty type beard and one missing front tooth. I hate to say Duck Dynasty. I don't think this man watches reality television. Guess they got the guy. Guess so, I said. Can't believe it, he said. Can't believe what? I can't believe the cops did what they said they was gonna do. Did they not usually? Shit. Never usually, except a couple times. All right, so half of this book was written when I was living in Lafayette, Indiana, around like 2015, and the other half was like when I was living in Seattle in 2016. So this one from Lafayette, my hometown. Let's read the first part, short part. My hometown, or the town where I pay 1/2 the rent on a home. Part 1. They say Axl Rose lived in Lafayette, Indiana for the first 17 years. They also say Axl is now delusional and crazy. I'm not going to start a band. All right, Joe H. Part 17. Joe H. came over today in his blue cruiser bicycle. Did not have a chain, which I asked him about. Bike's busted. How do you ride it? I asked. I ride it only downhill. Why don't you just walk? I hate walking. What happened to your skateboard? A car busted it, snapped it in 2. Those dreams, it seems, are dead. I asked Joe H. about his heroin hobby. Trying to say no to all the things I used to say yes to. But this other day I was in bed and this son of a bitch put a needle in my arm. What did you do? I asked. Busted him in his teeth. What did he do? I called the cops, told them what he did. Joe H. bummed a cigarette off me. Just trying to say no when I used to say yes, he repeated. I didn't mention the cigarette. He did a poor job on my lawn this time. A poorer job than usual. I hate to mention it, but he did a better job when he was on heroin. Maybe that dream is dead too. Poem. All right, so I've never read this poem out loud. I've been doing some readings on the West Coast and coming to Texas and do some readings in the Midwest, and I think this might be the appropriate time. So this one's called "I Am a Texan" for Allen Ginsberg. So I am a Texan for Allen Ginsberg. I am a Texan. I do not raise my lone star to the death penalty. I am a Texan. The suburbs make me puke chorizo in my mouth. I am a Texan. My guns are buried 190 feet below the Alamo. I throw my bullets into the Gulf. I am a Texan. My father works for big oil and gas. I ride a bicycle to buy rubber bullets, shoot Dallas billboards in South Padre Island. I am a Texan. I am a libertarian. My liberties include the right to give away my possessions, expose myself at Willie Nelson's picnic, swim in McConaughey's pool while he attends Longhorn football, steal Lance Armstrong's expired bicycle, wear Rick Perry's eyeglasses at a gay bar, dope my own blood with Fiesta vegetables, the red blood cells of capital pacifists. I am a Texan. I have earned the right to steal a George W. Bush painting. I sneak border crossers with my mind. I do not apologize for eating vegan breakfast tacos at the steakhouse. I am a Texan. I move across the regions and topography of this vast state on foot. My lone star is a lotus position. My lone star is a sad meditation into my beer. I am a Texan. My capital punishment takes place in the Austin Public Library. I am a Texan. I am a pacifist. I am not sorry. I am a Texan. Sam Houston gave me a blowjob. Stephen F. Austin gave me a rim job. I am a Texan. I use a Bowie knife to make salad. I am a Texan. David Crockett has been reincarnated in the form of a poodle that licks the peanut butter off my taint. I am a Texan. I am not sorry. My lone star is 1,000 thoughts about harming no one in the hill country. My terrorists are made of wax. They're in museums. I'm not sorry. Move to Oklahoma if you're upset. Thump your Bible when I put your gun up my ass. Pull the trigger for you to see what a Texan's brain matter looks like at your feet. And yeah, I'm a Texan. I do not apologize. Oh. All right, we'll go two more, and we'll call it a night. Let's do this one. This one's called Another Poem on Guilt. I feel guilty when I admit I like Pablo Escobar. I watched a documentary film about him in a fictional television show. I like the plump man who killed thousands, who aided in getting millions addicted. A type of Colombian Robin Hood, they say, beloved in Medellin especially. I don't know. When he smiles for his mugshot, I smile, then I feel I should go to church. Something to show penance for watching so much television, celebrating phantoms inside the box of my checkered heart. But then again, my brother's television is dead. Home. I'll just, this last one's, it's what I call a love poem. It's like the closest I can get. I wrote it for my wife. It's the only love poem in the book. You know, I had a good run there with dysfunctional relationships and fuck-ups, and you know, finally got it right. So this poem is called Unhealthy Love. Only loved 3 women, really loved them. A few others I projected JV love towards, junior varsity love. The 3 women call it varsity love. The first one, I was young, she was young, we didn't even have a name for the moon. The second, I was drunk, she was drunk. We got our car stuck in mud on a hill in Mexico, and I took it as a marker for future fuck-ups and impossibilities. But this one, the third one, makes the best sense. She runs marathons uphill, and I chain smoke until I feel like I don't want to die, and we meet somewhere along the road in that middle ground of functionality, where love actually makes you want to clean the dishes because tomorrow you think you might realistically use them. Pour coffee into a mug you both use in the morning. Thank you. Let me.
Yeah.
You want to?
No, do it.
No, we can wait. Come on.
No, do what you're gonna do.
No, I forgot about our Q&A thing.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
So
this
Malvern,
is for after the Q&A.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna.